What is going on, everyone? My name is Vincent. I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to be doing my clutch. Alright, so to get started, this video is a little different than your typical clutch video because my engine and my transmission is out of the car right now. So I won't be showing you how to remove the transmission and do the clutch inside of the car. Instead, everything will be done outside of the car. So here's the new clutch that will be going in the car. This is an ACT Stage 1 from Miata. I think it's rated to around 245 foot-pound of torque. So this will get me ready for a turbo setup in the future. Alright, and here is the old clutch setup. This is a Valeo MZ32 or something like that, made in Korea. This clutch honestly has a lot of life left in it, but since everything is already out, I decided to change it for my convenience. So the first thing I'm going to install is the flywheel, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and change the pilot bearing because that's all old, and I'll show you why. So here's the stock flywheel that was in the car before. It's actually in really good condition right now. I believe the previous owner resurfaced it before the current clutch was installed. I would love to resurface it again because whenever you install a new clutch, you should get it done, because if you don't, then you could cause premature wear or you could cause damage, and I don't want either of those. But in my case, we're still in quarantine right now, no shops are open, so I'll just have to deal with this for now. First, we're going to start off by installing a new pilot bearing. This is the one that came with the ACT clutch kit, and I'll get to that right now. So what I'm going to be using to get it out, since I don't have a bearing puller, I'm going to be using a 26mm socket and a hammer. Alright, so here's the old pilot bearing in the flywheel. I've got it on some blocks of wood and a space under it so the bearing can fall through. I'm going to place the 22mm socket on top of it, and then get a rag, fold it up, place it on top, and just give it some swings with a hammer. Okay, so actually the 26mm socket was a little bit too big, so I switched it up and got the 15/16 socket, and this fits perfectly, so let's give it a shot with that. So here's the 26mm socket. It worked a little bit and then it started getting hung up on the edge here, but if you take the 15/16, then it fits perfectly inside of that. Alright, so let's go back ahead and start hammering this in again. There we go. Okay, so here's the old bearing that was in the flywheel before, and if you could listen to this, this is a bad bearing. If you hear that sound, that could mean it has no more grease inside, or you have a cracked ball bearing, and it has a tiny bit of play, which means that this is no longer usable. Here's the new bearing, and there's no sound whatsoever, there's no play, so this is the new pilot bearing that we'll be installing. Before we get this installed, I want to say something important, because if you don't install this correctly, you could damage this, and you don't want to be wasting money on the pilot bearing. So a quick tip is that when you install this with a socket and a hammer, then you want to make sure you only put the socket on the outer race, not the inner race and not the shield. So what I'm saying is, when you sit the socket on the bearing, you want to make sure it sits perfectly along the outer edge like this, and make sure it doesn't sit along here or here, or else when you hammer it, you could damage it, you could bend it and break it. Alright, so here's an example of how you should not install it. This is a 21mm socket, and if you place it on the bearing like this, you can see that it doesn't sit on the outer race, it sits on the shield. So once you hammer it, it's going to keep pushing this part in, you're going to bend it, it's not going to be usable anymore. And another example is a 14mm. This goes on the inner race. If you hammer it here, then you'll probably pop that out, and it's not going to be usable either. While the bearing's out, it's a good idea to clean this with some brake cleaner, like the inside of this casing right here, and a little bit of the surface right here as well. So I've got the new pilot bearing and I've coated it in a light layer of bearing grease. So you just place that on top and then get that hammered in softly. As I said, keep it on the outer race of the bearing and just gently and slowly tap its way in there. So I've got it just flush with the surface here, and that's good for now. Let's get this installed. Okay, so the flywheel is ready for installation, but before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and clean the flywheel bolts. I'm gonna do that the same way I did last time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please check out my previous video. That'll be a great help to me. Alright, so to get the flywheel installed, make sure that the friction plate is facing outwards. Then carefully place it on the end of the crank like that, and hold it in place while threading one bolt in first. And again, all of the bolts will be coated in blue Loctite to keep them in place. And just get this threaded in. Alright, there, the flywheel should stay in place now. Now get the rest of the other 6 bolts threaded in. These are all 19mm bolts and they're torqued down to 71 to 75 foot-pound. Okay, after you've got all the bolts in, hand tighten, then we're gonna want to torque them down. And usually when you torque down flywheel bolts, the flywheel tends to spin in the direction that you're turning. And to prevent that, I've stuck a piece of wood between the teeth of the ring gear to prevent this thing from spinning while I'm torquing it down. Also, when torquing down the flywheel, you want to torque it down in stages and in a crisscross pattern. The stages mean that if your final torque goal is, let's say, 74 foot-pound, then you'll want to start off with half of that, which is around 36. So you want to torque everything in a crisscross pattern at 36 first, and then jump to the next stage, which is between 36 and 74, so I guess that's around 56, something like that. Then we'll torque it down to 56, and then at the last stage, we'll torque it down to the final value of 74. So as I said, we're going to be torquing this down in stages and in a crisscross pattern, which means you'll kind of be going in the star pattern and skipping a bolt so the pressure goes evenly. Let's start. Okay, so now these are all torqued down to 36 foot-pound. So let's get on to the second stage. Alright, now we're on our second stage, which is 56 foot-pound. So we'll do the exact same thing in a crisscross pattern. Alright, now we're at our final torquing stage, which is 73 foot-pound. So it's the exact same thing as before, same as the other 2 times. Let's get started. So none of the wood blocks actually worked, so I'm having my dad hold a pry bar across these points right here. And this is the last torquing stage of 73 foot-pound. Alright, that's it. Thanks, Dad. Ooh. Okay, so I've got the flywheel bolts torqued down. Big shout out to my dad for giving me a hand. It's always good to have someone help you whenever you're working on cars. And now we're gonna get ready to install the pressure plate. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and spray the flywheel down with some brake cleaner. So you wanna just spray this down and make sure there's no grease or anything else along the friction plate, because that's gonna cause premature wear or damage your clutch. Then just wipe it down with a microfiber towel. And after you've got your flywheel cleaned up, you want to go ahead and clean your pressure plate and your clutch, because when they come from the factory, they actually have a light layer of grease on top of them to prevent them from corroding while they're in shipment or storage. So let's go ahead and clean that up too. Alright, so after you've got the clutch and the pressure plate cleaned up, you want to make sure you install these correctly, because if you look at the clutch, over here it says transmission side. So make sure you keep in mind that this has a correct way to be installed. Alright, before we get the pressure plate installed, we're going to want to install our clutch. And to do that, we have this clutch alignment tool that came with the ACT clutch kit. This makes it really simple and really easy. All you have to do is take the clutch alignment tool, put it in through the transmission side, then use this end, put it into that pilot bearing hole, and it slides in just like that. And that's all you have to do for now. Then we'll start on the pressure plate. But make sure you do not touch the friction surface because the oil from your hand can get on this and contaminate it. Then you'll have to go ahead and clean this thing again. Alright, now to get our pressure plate installed, you want to line up the holes along the pressure plate with the holes on the flywheel and the dowels. Then you want to just carefully press it in place and try to make it as even as you can. Then start with getting one bolt threaded in first, just to keep it in place. And again, all the bolts have blue thread locker on them, and you only want to hand tighten them for now and get them snug. This is just to keep the pressure plate in place. Alright, before we actually get this pressure plate torqued down in place, we're gonna want to go through each bolt in a crisscross pattern and turn it one turn at a time. And this will get rid of this gap between the pressure plate and the flywheel. And the reason why we're going in a crisscross pattern and turning one turn at a time is so that it applies even pressure around the whole pressure plate. So these are all 14 millimeters, so let's get started. And again, we'll be torquing these in a crisscross pattern. Alright guys, I kinda messed up. This is my fault, but my car's been apart for a really long time and I completely forgot about this one part. I forgot about this metal plate right here that goes in between the engine and the transmission. It completely slipped my mind, and I need to get that in before I put the flywheel, the clutch, and the pressure plate on. Completely my fault, and shit happens. I'll get it back together right now. Alright guys, I'm back and I've got the metal spacer installed and I put everything else back together, so let's keep going. So what we're gonna do now is get the transmission connected to the engine block, and before we do that, we're gonna want to grease the splines of the input shaft just a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna get the transmission in now and basically just line up the input shaft along with the clutch and everything else. Just work its way in there. And then get one bolt and thread it in all the way so the transmission stays in place. Alright, so after you got one bolt in, then you want to go ahead and put the rest of the bolts in. Alright, so I've got the bolts all snugged down. Well, most of them, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that? 4, 5, and then come around to the other side. 6 bolts that are snugged down right now. These 2, I'm not going to tighten them down yet because this actually connects to the downpipe with a bracket, and my downpipe wouldn't come off of my exhaust, so I took that out as one whole piece. And if I put that on now, it's gonna have a whole exhaust hanging out like that. That's gonna make it so much harder to throw back in the car, so I won't be doing that yet. But there's 3 holes over here and 1 on the engine mount. This is for the starter, so let's get that installed right now. Alright, to get the starter in, you just put it inside the hole right here. There we go. And then we'll start off just by getting some bolts in so it doesn't fall out of place. Alright, that should be fine for now. Now let's get the other bolts in. And the last bolt at the bottom is a bolt and a nut. There we go. Alright, now that the starter is installed, I'm going to go ahead and torque down the bell housing bolts. and they get torqued to around 48 to 65 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna go to 58 foot-pound. Some of the bell housing bolts are kind of hard to reach, so I got this swivel here, and that'll help me get to the ones at the bottom where the head of the torque wrench does not fit. How does this even happen? Okay, so I've torqued the bell housing bolts down. I forgot to say before that these are all 17mm bolts. And now let's get started on torquing down the starter bolts. The bolts in the front are all 12mm, and the bolt in the back on the engine mount bracket is a 14mm. These are torqued to around 28 to 38 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna go in the middle and go to around 32. And I have this long extension because the torque wrench head does not fit in this area. And next, let's go ahead and torque the bolt in the back. There we go, everything's torqued down now. Alright, so this whole thing is almost ready to go back into the car. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and clean the turret right here. This is basically where the shifter goes, and I have a turkey baster here. So I'm going to go ahead and just suck out all the old fluid and replace it with some new fluid. Alright, so I've got my turkey baster and the cup here. So we just want to reach in there and just suck as much out as you can. Oh, this looks disgusting. Ooh. Alright, so if we take a look at the old fluid that was in there before, you can see that it's really cloudy and it looks like there's some deposits at the bottom. So this is why we'll be changing it. Alright, so we're going to be refilling this and then cleaning it back out again just to mix up what's inside. And I'm going to be using transmission fluid because in case there is a hydraulic connection between the turret and the transmission, if it does leak, then it'll be the same fluid leaking into the same fluid. So we'll be doing the same thing again and suck the fluid back out. I refilled it and sucked it back out again to mix up what was inside, and this is what came out. Looks like a hot chocolate. It should honestly not look like that. It should be nice and clear. So I'm glad that I took the time to clean this out. Alright, so I actually decided to leave this empty for now because I realized that when I'm installing this, I'm gonna have to tilt this forward to get the transmission in under the car. And if we fill it up now, it's gonna spill everywhere, and we can't cover this up because if you look at the shifter, this is gonna get in the way if it just sits up like that. So this will be installed last. Okay, so that's basically all you have to do to get your clutch done, and that's gonna be everything for this video. I would really love to get started on throwing this back in the car, but I have to wait for an engine leveler before I do that. So stay tuned to my next video. I'm gonna be throwing this thing back into the Miata. Thank you guys for watching my video today. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, then click subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.